Welcome back. Now, on the 8th of September 2025, Namibia's Green Hydrogen Programme was in the spotlight at a major policy forum in Seoul, South Korea, co-hosted by the Korean National Assembly and Jeju Special Self-Governing Province. The event brought together lawmakers, industry leaders, and global partners to boost Korea's green hydrogen ecosystem and explore international collaboration, with Namibia highlighted as a key partner. Today, we are speaking to Jona Musheko to learn more about this. Jona, welcome to Daily Roundup.
Thank you. Good to have me here.
Yeah. When did you come back from South Korea?
I just landed a few hours.
Really?
So it's straight from the airport, actually.
Wow. Thank you for making time for Daily Roundup.
Yeah.
Just to share what you were able to deliver there and what you got from there as well. Just to start off, what was the main message that you delivered about Namibia's Green Hydrogen Programme that is at Seoul Policy Forum?
Well, thank you again. I think, as usual, our message, our gospel, always about what Namibia is doing. But this time, our audience was international players, of which most of them, or most especially the country itself, South Korea, it's quite advanced in green hydrogen initiatives. So we went to tell them what we are doing in Namibia in terms of green hydrogen, the type of projects we have, and our ambitions, and where are these ambitions reflected. For instance, in our National Development Plan number 6, and also towards Vision 2030, what is that we want to achieve with industrialization. So we also saw that opportunity to market Namibia in that space of green hydrogen, because we saw that that room had the right people, the members of parliament of the South Korea government, as well as industry players. So it was very good and necessary for us to really market Namibia and what we are doing here as a country.
Yeah. You just mentioned that, of course, South Korea is advanced in hydrogen technologies. Now, what lessons or best practices did Namibia take away from this engagement?
I think the first thing is to appreciate that it can be done. What we are doing here, it's not a foreign thing. It's something that can be done, and there are others that have done it. And it is really up to us to be determined to achieve it to the fullest. And secondly is to show that, initially when we started, there were a lot of talks that the technology is rare and expensive, which is true. But in South Korea, we saw that the technology is there, the type of electrolyzers they have tested, and that gives us different options on what we can use eventually as we progress with our sector here in Namibia. Tested technologies, availability of data in terms of research and development. It was amazing to see that, and also issues of standard and how do you, have this sector in a safe manner. All these things, policy-wise, all these things are, very much implemented in South Korea, and it's a good example in Namibia to look at and, learn some of those or bring some of those initiatives back here at home.
Yeah. Are there any specific areas of cooperation you see emerging between Namibia and South Korea in the green hydrogen value chain?
I think the first one, and I may be repeating it, and it's very important what we are doing, and not just us as a country, but also in terms of how we position ourselves, which is research and development. R&D is very important to industrialization and advancement in whatever we are doing. If you don't research, if you don't have researchers in a specific sector or industry, you are doomed to be left behind, and you are likely to be doing mistakes others have done already. So research, sharing of knowledge in this area. And the other thing is technology, like I said before. They have tested quite a number of technologies. They have got electrolyzers that are tested, different electrolyzers. Here in Namibia, we probably just have got 2 or 3 of them at different projects. Different wind turbines that you can have in Namibia in the area of Ludret. Different models on how you can actually, capitalize on the downstream of implementing green hydrogen initiatives. How do people use green hydrogen in their daily lives in terms of vehicles that are running on green hydrogen? It was amazing to see. Vehicles running on green hydrogen, they quite have a number of them. They have about 40,000 units of vehicle running on green hydrogen in South Korea. and the rest of them are electronic, and others obviously are running on gasoline. So it's interesting to see that there are big brothers globally that are doing what we want to achieve in the fullest frame we can think of. So those are some of the things that I think we ought to look at and really be inspired.
And Jona, perhaps just has Namibia positioned itself in terms of just making sure that our market is conducive? Where are we now? I think that's the question now, to see how far we are as Namibia and how far we still need to go.
I think so far we are, I would say we are at upstream in terms of just mainly production and slightly utilization of such green hydrogen in processing, for instance, at High Iona Shivela, very soon also at Daures, and then eventually also at Clean Energy Solution. So we would want to really position ourselves as also end users of green hydrogen, not just exporters. Obviously, there is a potential for us to export green hydrogen to South Korea because they have a challenge. They have got the necessary technology. They have got the, the keen, the interest in terms of even just leadership. They are keen to make sure that they participate into this and also decarbonize their industries. They have got their own set targets from 2035 to 2050. So with that, we are actually, positioned also to be able to be suppliers of green hydrogen to such countries. Obviously, issues of transport and distance have to be put in consideration because if you look at the cost of production, their current cost of production in South Korea now, they are saying it's quite expensive compared to other places. So they import about 80% of their green hydrogen. But is it a possibility that they can import some of that from Namibia? Maybe yes, maybe no. How viable it is. Those are some of the data that we need to study collectively as countries that have or that want to partnership in this industry and see whether we can encourage business to business or country to country relationship in terms of trading with the green hydrogen.
Just looking at the potential for economic, social and environment benefits, what could Namibia gain from these international collaborations?
You see, like I said, mostly it's the implementation of the downstream, which is more of how best can we utilize green hydrogen in our daily lives? How do we make sure that the green hydrogen does not remain an elite kind of subject matter, but something that people get to experience every day? We're talking about buses running on green hydrogen. I think Clean Energy Solution in Walvis Bay have got that initiative that they will soon bring on board. And also, how can we have our own Namibian people participate in the actual industry? Obviously, as we speak now, we have got a call for project proposals that we expect Namibians to submit their proposals on how best can they participate in green hydrogen initiatives, which will be funded through CIF, which is Climate Investment Fund. We want people to have this understanding and how can they best participate. And a country like South Korea is good because you see different application of clean hydrogen in terms of downstream and what type of vehicles can you venture into, what type of car dealerships can you have here as first cars or industry manufacturers can congregate here in this country. You're talking about Kia, you're talking about Hyundai. They are there, they are from that country. And they are actually doing a lot in terms of participating into this decarbonization. So how best can we make sure that industries come to Namibia to congregate here, set up here, and we, apart from just benefiting in terms of job creation, because that's our main pain because of high rates of unemployment, we also want people to participate and be owners of industries and factories, because it's not the same as we speak. Industries are owned by other people from somewhere else, but we want our own people to understand so they can also be part of ownership and wealth creation.
Of course. Jona, how important is policy and institutional support for Namibia's green hydrogen ambitions, and what progress has been made locally just on this front?
Policy, it's like those policies are guiding tools for any industry, and we need them. As we speak, we have submitted our draft policy of green hydrogen and its derivatives to the Ministry of Industry, which is the ministry responsible. And we are reviewing that so that a final submission can be done and eventually to follow the law-making or policy-making procedure. And eventually, we will have a dedicated policy aimed at green hydrogen. But that does not really hinder the industry to proceed, because what you use when you're producing green hydrogen, it's already regulated through different legal frameworks. We're talking about water extraction, you've got the Water Act. If it's sunlight in terms of energy production, you've got the act that regulates that. If it's safety of staff or employees on site, we have got labor acts that are ensuring that that is done. And even if it comes to transportation of green hydrogen, which is perhaps a dangerous gas, also we have an act that speaks about transportation of dangerous products or items. So we are obviously looking at having a specific policy or act that speaks to green hydrogen, but it will not necessarily have to stop the industry before it is in place.
Jona, as we round off, just after this forum, what is next? I mean, today is also the end of the Green Hydrogen Summit that's happening in Windhoek, attended by various countries all over the world. Perhaps just what is next for Namibia, that is in strengthening international partnership and advancing its green hydrogen program?
I think we will continue on the path we are on to make sure that we do less talking and we do more action, so that we have tangible results that are also should be able to reflect in the lives of our people, most especially those that are involved in the industry or in the sector. We will continue marketing what Namibia is doing, but we'll also continue to encourage Namibians to participate in the industry, most especially when opportunities arise, in as much as things such as SIF is now ongoing. We want people to understand. Maybe one day we can come back and talk about SIF application and how people can participate in that, and eventually they will be part of the sector in different ways. You don't have to be a chemist for you to be part of this. Perhaps you're a specialist in logistics or a pipe fixing, a pipe welding. How do you participate by being a specialist in putting together welding green hydrogen pipes? So those are the conversations we want people to participate and eventually understand and be part of the industry.
Thank you so much for being on Daily Roundup and giving us that update. Also, just the fact that you just came from the airport straight to this interview, we appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Jona Musheko. He just gave us a brief that is on Namibia Green Hydrogen Programme, where they participated in South Korea. So that is